We have been understanding the human being like separate elements. We have a mind problem, so we go to the psychologist, or we have a physical problem, and that's good, that's okay, because you learn more about each aspect. I think now we are in the moment to bring everything together and to discover that there is something that is keeping everything together, and that you are one with all that complexity.
About 10 years ago, I went to Mallorca, Spain to teach a workshop. It seemed a long way to go, but what I found once I arrived made the long journey worth it. I held the workshop in a gorgeous stone villa. There are old olive trees, and the nights are so warm, starry, and still. Participants can drop into this place quickly. They feel more inspired as soon as they arrive. However, what stirred me that first time more than anything else was a massage I signed up for on a whim once I got there. It turned out it was not so much a massage, but a reading, a spiritual directional clarification. It was like a mirror that made it possible to see more clearly the deeper parts of myself. Meet Magdalena Segui Cerda. I have now been returning to Mallorca for over 10 years to teach workshops and, equally importantly, for me, work with Magdalena. She has an extraordinary gentle way of helping others see and decipher their most genuine essence. I consider my work over the years with her as part of my art and life guidance. Our best art comes when we look within ourselves and begin listening. There's wise guidance waiting within us all. Our souls already have the answers we seek. However, it's so easy to miss what is right before us. Magdalena has helped me see what I've overlooked. Join Magdalena and me for this conversation about the creative project all of us share, the project of becoming. Links to connect with Magdalena can be found by clicking on podcasts at arttolife.com. Also, for all the artists interested in color who are listening, you can now get my free Color Tips PDF by going to colortipspdf.com. This information can really help your art. Okay, join Magdalena and me now for this lovely conversation. We're sitting together on a stone terrace on the beautiful island of Mallorca, Spain. Welcome to Art to Life, a podcast for the creatively curious. My name is Nicholas Wilton, and each week I'll help you rediscover not just the art of your life, but the art in your life. Join me as we explore that perfect blue at twilight, the wild frontiers of art making, and the extraordinary joy of finding your way as you go. So, Magdalena, thank you so much for joining me here in Mallorca for this conversation.
Hello. Nice to be here with you.
Yes, and just for you guys listening, I've known Magdalena for a number of years, and she's been so helpful in my process of actually self-realization, if I could use such a grand word, to really helping me understand myself, and which actually helps me in my art. And my hope today is to shed some light on some of the areas of exploration that we as artists are involved in, and looking within, and how that can be deciphered and understood. The question I get asked a lot from artists is, what's my style? And the question underneath that question is really, who am I? This is the area that I work with artists on, because if I can get them to understand themselves better, then the work becomes more unique. And the answer always, in short, is to look within. So, Magdalena, just in my experience with you, you've helped me so much. How do you think about, I guess we're talking about soul here, but how do you think about, or how do you see this for others?
Well, I think what you say is just how it is. We are, each of us, we are unique, And we are a different source with different qualities. So in fact, the purpose to be here is to bring to this earth, to this planet, the qualities that we are as a soul. And that's the big journey. And that's what we have been always researching for, the human being.
Yes, and if we think of art, and this is how I think of art, as the byproduct of that journey, or the artifact of that journey, art to me, and I see it as an evolution of a person. And we can express this evolution, this learning, through art or not. But it's interesting to me when you speak of this, the project of becoming more awakened, I guess, or more consciousness, actually what you're saying, consciousness and soul is the same thing.
Yes.
Yes.
We can say energy, soul, consciousness, but different ways to understand what we're talking about. And yes, art is a wonderful tool because you see yourself through what you are doing. It's not can be an automatic issue, and then you will see your automatic patterns. But anything that you do directly comes from a place, from where you are in that moment. So, of course, art is amazing to have a good mirror of your own inner travel.
Yes, and what can be confusing for me, and I think it's just confusing, when we're trying to learn who we are, there's many aspects of ourselves, there's many parts of ourselves and challenges that we have, and distractions and real life challenges and difficulties and things that get in the way. Could you speak to, we're talking about the essence of a person, but how do we decipher that? How do we get more clear about that? What are the things that get in our way of thinking too hard about this? You know, it's difficult to even talk about what we're talking about, you know?
Yes. Well, the point is that life is such a complexity. It's not a simple issue. And we are part of this life. We are multidimensional beings. It's much more than what we see, because we see with the physical eyes, we see the physical world. But we are the earth, and we are much more. We have emotions, we have an emotional body, mental body, of course a physical body, and then the source of the energy that is keeping each body alive and together and make a person. So we have a personality, we carry memories in our system, in our structure, in our DNA. We carry the memories of our ancestors, not only the physical, but also the emotional and the mental. Any trauma that you have been living in your line of ancestor, you carry in yourself, no? So we cannot work just from one perspective. We cannot work just from the mind or just from the physical. We need to bring consciousness in all that complexity.
To all parts.
Yes, to all parts. So you need to work your emotional body, your mental body. You need to take care of each part.
Yes.
And to understand that you are all that together. And it's like we are multidimensional and simultaneous at the same time.
Right.
And
yes.
that's what we call to live the present is when you realize that complexity is just living now in that moment. And that's the base to manifest that essence. You need to align all your aspects to bring the real quality of your soul, the purity of your soul.
Because when those aspects of ourselves, like for me, I can be in my head so much because I have so much to do and I'm worried about whatever things are going on, then I'm just, I'm exhausted because I'm thinking so much, and I'll miss feeling something, or I miss that aspect of it. I mean, I can go do a run, which connects me more to a deeper sense of myself. But I mean, is that what we're talking about here? Is just learning how to quiet other parts and let other parts come out, and so it's more even?
Well, what we say, to know who you are, no?
Yeah.
Is then, okay, I need to, who I am, no?
Right. What's my style?
What's my style? But where these styles come from, why, and how it's manifesting, and all the difficulties that I have to bring what I really feel, because maybe inside you feel all that mix of emotions or insights or whatever, and then you need to bring this to the physical world, no? And then you will find many difficulties that are showing what you need to work to know who you are.
Right. Like the difficulties help you,
of course,
arrive,
of course,
progress.
That's the thing. When you need to see all the stones that they are in your path to clear that path and have a good walk.
Yes.
And also accepting that these stones are exactly that what you need to bring out the quality that you are, that you vibrate as a being. We have been understanding the human being like separate elements. We have a mind problem, so we go to the psychologist, or we have a physical problem, and that's good, that's okay, because you learn more about each aspect. I think now we are in the moment to bring everything together and to discover that there is something that is keeping everything together, and that you are one with all that complexity. And this has a lot to do with emotions, with emotional energy, which is, I think, is the aspect that we are still need to learn as humanity. We have been just putting aside this. It's like, okay, emotions, okay, just wait a minute, we go for the other.
So is that like, I think sometimes you can be in a different emotional states, bringing fire inside of yourself to something that is strong or more confident or more trusting, or is the emotional aspect of what you're talking about what holds all those aspects together, or just connects it all?
Well, yeah, the emotional is like the food for everything, and is the energy that brings the nourishment, and that's what we need. We are in a very mental world. We have been building that world, which is wonderful, and we have many advances in that sense, okay? But now we forget a bit about what we are in the emotional sense. And this is a very important aspect, because it's very linked to the ethics. It's okay, I have a good car, a good house, and I have a physically good life, and I go for it, for make money, for have a better car, and that's okay, that's wonderful. But I'm a person, and I have feelings.
Yeah.
For me, for others. If I'm not aware of that feelings, I will not realize when I make not comfortable situations for the others.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because
there's my purpose, I go for it, and I just put my feelings aside. So it doesn't matter if I destroy nature or destroy persons, or because I'm frozen. My emotional body is
disconnected.
Is disconnected.
Yes.
So I cannot realize that my ethics just disappear.
Ah, it's so interesting that it's connected to ethics, of course, because that's what guides feelings. It's not like a checklist of the appropriate thing to do.
Exactly.
You feel empathy, you feel gratitude, you want to help someone when you feel what it must be like for them to be homeless, and
Exactly.
you help.
We are in a danger. This is a very dangerous situation because we are walking as humanity in that sense. Unless we rescue that emotional bodies and begin to feel again, there's a possibility to destroy what we have been building with so much carefulness for ages. So now it's like, okay, we really need to awaken that emotional aspect, our emotional bodies. Of course, we will feel, and we will feel maybe some pain, but this is the only way that we have to stop ourselves and to bring consciousness and save this planet.
Yes, yes.
And art is a very good tool to explore that emotional aspect, because you can be free of manifest any emotion. If you are not used to really feel your emotions in all the deepness, art can help you, and you can do in your intimacy, you and the art. and then you decide if you share or not, or in which way.
What's so interesting about it, I think, is that we can track our progress at becoming more ourselves. Art that we make is usually stronger when there's more of us in it, when there's more emotion, in a sense, and of how we truly feel. And we think of that when we make the work, whatever the thing is that we care about. And if you do some art and then a year later you do more art, you will see improvement, but you actually can see it.
Yes.
It's hard sometimes to track yourself, except through the state of being that you feel more centered or more grounded compared to you did last year. But I think this ease that we're looking for, this balance, is something that can be a telltale sign of massive improvement in our art.
Of course. And it's true that it will not always be like nice, or we can also do like, I don't know, ugly art or whatever. But
it's still us. Yes,
it is still us. And then to recognize our mistakes, and this is okay. We need just to. Okay, everyone is looking for the perfection, and we all want to be perfect, and that's wonderful, okay? But we forget, we don't want to see what we call non-perfection, that mistakes. But without that mistakes, we cannot go further.
Yes, it's
because,
a part of it.
And they are, you need to look at them, you need to recognize and to love them and embrace them and learn for any mistake that you have been doing. That's our precious human aspect.
Yeah.
So, okay, we are in that journey of light and dark, and life is dark and light, and we live in a dual world, and we are also that duality. So we need to see the beauty of that dynamic.
When I think about mystery and uncertainty, those ideas, those feelings come up when I think about learning more about myself, looking within. And can you talk a little bit about why it doesn't seem more familiar, or why it's so mysterious or challenging to find our way, to move towards things that we don't know. The culture gives us stories that are not fulfilling. We go on Instagram and those can be thought of as, if I have these cars, if I look this way, if my body's this way, and then I'm this kind of person, and clearly this is a way to be, and I could be one of this, and we can adopt and take on stories. But our own story, our own path is more elusive. And I sometimes can catch glimpses of it for myself, but often it's only after I've gone through it that I can look back and understand it. And it's just, there's so much mystery for all of us of what's coming, where we're going, where we should go, and is this right or not? And using our intuition, and it's just shrouded in mystery. I love this, and I love this about art, but why do you think that is?
I think maybe it's a matter of fashion.
Yeah.
It's just not in fashion.
Yeah, right.
So we need to turn everything. No. The question is that what we are in the cosmos at cosmic level is that huge and amazing being that is vibrating in frequencies that we cannot feel from our human perspective.
And this is all beings. All
beings.
Yes.
Any being in this planet is cosmic, incredible being shining just in the middle of the universe. Each of us. So we make a deal with Earth, with Mother Earth, with Gaia, to have an experience and help this planet in her evolution. So here we have special conditions, that duality and the physicality of this world, which is vibrating in a very low, dense frequency. That's how is matter, how is physical world. So we need to live our experience in this low vibration. And we are a very high vibration. So how can we do to, if you are like that high frequency, how can you do to be yourself? That means to be that frequency here in this earth. So you need to work on the matter, and you need to refine that matter, and you need to make the matter vibrates in a high vibration. Then you can melt more and more with this physical world. And that's not easy. And that's the challenge.
Yes.
That's the challenge, and that's the mystery. That's everything. So all the journey is about refine the aspects of this earth, of these planets, to make more comfortable for the vibration that we really are.
And when I think of, vibration, energy, art can have energy. When you look at it, energy can be felt. You can feel that, you can sense that. And higher vibration there's a purity about it. You said the word purity. I thought that was interesting. It's because higher frequency, higher vibration is positivity, it's generosity, it's openness, right? It's looking after yourself, it's expansive, right? And lower frequency is I'm just envy, or
yes.
where you get caught up. It's energy that's more...
It's more heavy.
It's heavier. It's hard to move with it. It's hard to... I talk about limiting beliefs that I help myself and artists unpack because it's heavy. You can't do art if you're feeling not maybe worthy of even holding a paintbrush, or that you don't have anything to contribute, and maybe that's a story you've been told by someone in your past, or these beliefs that are false that we carry, they feel heavy. And so I relate to what you're saying about low frequency. But everything you're saying, and I think that you actually physically can see vibrational energy. I can't. I can feel it, I think, sometimes. But am I characterizing that right? That high frequency, low frequency, is that what you're saying?
I can see energies, I can perceive, and I can decode. I can translate into words. That's what I feel, what I perceive. And we all have this capacity. Any human being, we all. The same that we see with our eyes, or, we talk with our voice. The same, we have that subtle capacities of seeing and understanding energy. You need training. It's all about training. I received a very intensive training during many years to refine, to awaken and refine these capacities, and this is in all of us, absolutely.
Yes, and I think where I see it, because I work with so many artists, and it's really what we're learning is a sensitivity. We're learning that refinement. Exactly. Even if the work is like a wild man made it or whatever, it doesn't matter. There's still a refinement because there's more awareness. It's awareness, more awareness of what we're doing and how many aspects of ourselves we can bring to the art. But I think it is a refinement that artists that develop this, and they've been doing it longer generally, and the prices are higher. That's the value. The value is recognized in the market, I think.
Because when you do art, you do from your soul. Your soul wants to manifest, wants to express, wants to live here in the earth. So your soul is calling you and is looking for the way to show through what you do, through what you say, through your being, through your body. So, of course, and then we need to understand and realize about that, what we're talking, that high vibration and high vibration, and the different emotions that are involved in each aspect. So yes, the low vibration emotions involve all that we call astral world, which is all that. Because in the invisible world, there is also different dimensions and different vibrations. There are many, many, many levels.
Oh, God.
Yes.
There's many, many levels of things that I can only can't see any of them. Okay.
Yes. We are incredible. We are not that bones and flesh,
right.
with a bit of...
But is it... But the soul always pulls you toward... I feel like our soul is what knows us best. It wants the best for us. It actually knows. It's the airport control. It's the guiding light for us if we could just trust it and listen. It tends to pull you into mystery and darkness or obscure, but it is a guiding force if we listen, right?
Yes, the soul is what we are. We are. That's what we are. We cannot escape from.
But we can become very disconnected to it. You surely must work with people the range of people you work with and help.
Yeah, because we are part of this amazing project in planet Earth. And you came many years ago for the first time as a young soul, and then you need to do your job. You have a contract. So it's like, okay, hello, welcome, new young soul. And then there is a task for you. Okay, what I want to bring, what you want to bring. So I want to bring some generosity and unconditional love, whatever, in this way. Okay.
This is what we're assigned, or this is our contract? Okay.
Your contract, and says, so Mother Earth and all the project with all the guides and everything says, okay, so to get this, you have this amount of material, and you need to refine this material to get to the point when this material can vibrate enough high to connect with your soul, and then being able to bring what you are. Okay, yes. So you begin from a disconnection.
Yes.
And that's good, that's okay.
That's where we all start.
Yes.
That's where we all begin.
In the completely darkness. So in fact, you need to enlighten this piece of material. Yes. And light is like you go in a dark room, and in a place there's a candle with some matches that you need to
ignite. Yes.
But you only see darkness, and you don't know where is this candle and where are the matches. You don't know anything. So you just suddenly are in that dark room full of nothing and everything. And, okay, that's the challenge. How can you find the candle and the matches and light that candle? And this is all our journey as a soul, and this can take thousands of years until you finally find that candle, no?
Yes.
And that's fun.
Well,
but it's like when we are there, like, oh no, I don't see anything. What's this? And suddenly, and we just complain and make more difficult.
More excuses, or I think I'm just going to go to lunch.
And then what we do is just to bring more darkness to that room.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. And I just see everything as this art making, this metaphor that we're all involved in. Literally, when you can find the things that you want to bring together and you start putting those together, it's so gratifying for yourself, because you've got something, it's not invisible now, it's visible. Yeah. And there's this energy about it. And we all can look at the 20 things in our studios or the things we've made, and then certain ones, they just have that frequency. And what I think is interesting, and maybe you can speak to this, others can feel it. Other beings, other people can feel the energy and are attracted, come in. Why? Because they want this too, or it's just a magnetic pull, or we make personal expression, but it is also universal expression when it is very, very personal. When we are lighting up what we are here to do truly, and it is connective, it draws other people, it connects us to other people.
Yes, well, we are in that huge dark room, and there are many of us, and we are not coming at the same time, no? You came many thousand years, and I came sooner, and then there are still coming new souls to the planet. So each of us is doing the best that we can to find that candle, and suddenly we light this candle. And then other person have that glance of light, and for a moment, I can see because someone else was lighting this candle.
Yes.
No, and but then and then more and more persons are finding the candles and lighting on, and then the youngest can see better. So it's that you do the job not only for yourself, for everyone, to help see, and then you become a light, like como un faro, no? Like a sign that is helping, that is enlightening that room.
Yeah.
No?
Yes.
And then, of course, other person can say, okay, I see a bit more now, because that's why it's not important, finally, what we say. It's important what we are,
Yes.
Because the words are not in the same level that the consciousness. I mean, you can say one thing and being not truthful with what you think.
Mm-hmm.
But what you vibrate, you cannot hide. And anyone can feel what you vibrate. If you talk in a nice way to me, but you hate me, I will notice your hate.
But will most people, lots of people, I mean, I think there's such a range of people that some are more, maybe not everyone is so truthful. But do you think we all, we can feel that, but sometimes it works. I mean, if someone is trying to sell something, we almost can feel that. But do you know what I mean? It's like, that's a learning too, to really drop into, but what is the feeling of this experience with this person? They sound good. They look good on paper, but there's something here that's off, and learning to trust that. It's just a learning of a sensitivity.
Yes, and of course, then we are free. We are free souls, and we can decide what to do and how to do. We make a deal, but then we can change. I decide in this life to learn to be truthful with myself, and then you say, it's so boring. I prefer to continue with my lies because I'm lazy or whatever.
Yes, right.
So I relax myself, and I will go on with my lies because I have more fun. Whatever.
We get to choose. We can choose that route. We don't have to do this.
You don't have, there's not a Papa God or Mama God. No, it's you with yourself, and then when you go, it's your own soul that is telling you, okay, how was this life? Oh, I just sleep and take some drugs and it was fun. So it's okay, you will do next time.
Yes,
maybe.
Right.
Probably will be harder next time, because to remember your initial deal, sometimes, we are very deaf.
Yes, we can't hear.
Yeah, we can't hear. So life needs to make a very big sound to help us to remember.
Yes.
Who we are.
Yes, and there's hard lessons in that.
And then they come, okay, you have been for 10 lives without, with drugs and sex and whatever, and crazy, in the sense of craziness. So, okay, now you will have some really hard lives to realize about your own actions.
Yes.
And then see if you want to finally bring some consciousness.
In working with artists, when we don't know what to do, I approach it just to get in motion, to just start something, make something. The making is somehow helpful in this process of learning where we should go, but we don't know. But there's something about the making, the expression, the being present that allows the intuition, the voice of the soul, to be heard or to come through. How do you think of intuition? That's how I think of intuition. It's this voice, it's this sort of sound that our soul makes. But how do you think of intuition?
Yes, it resonates. Something resonates in not in the brain. The intuition comes from other place.
Yes, not of the brain.
Not of the brain, no. And it's not exactly the connection with the soul, but it's closer than the brain. So it's like it shows you the path. It's like a previous state to that fully connection.
Yes, it's a preview is what you're saying. Yeah, it's a glimpse.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
It's
yes.
a glimpse. Yes.
Yeah, because it can wake you up a little.
Yes.
You can feel it on the back of your neck, and you like, what? And I can be choosing a color, or I really feel it when I've been working with a group of artists and someone's struggling in the room, and then I see him get it. And I just know that something's shifted over there, and I can feel it.
Uh-huh.
That's where I notice it when I'm working with artists, but also in myself. This color, or this mark, or this mark.
Uh-huh. Yes, it's guidance. I would say that it's our helpers.
Ah.
Yeah, just like touching us, no? And any part of our structure, no? To just like, okay, pay attention to that, no? Maybe it was not. And then when we are in that process, no, of awakening ourselves in a bit more serious deal, is a very good insight. The intuition is because you learn through that. Because it's like, okay, what's going to happen if I follow my intuition? And that's a difference, because my mind was telling, do this, I don't know, go for that.
Right. Yeah, this is
path, and suddenly, there's something that is telling, maybe not. Maybe today I need to go to another place, no? And what's going to happen if I follow my intuition? And then you see that something good happen.
Yes.
And that's.
But you speak, what you're talking right in there in that spot is there's fear. There's an unknown, and this is why it's sort of okay. I sometimes follow my intuition, but generally, no. But we have to choose. I mean, which we're going to follow: our brain or our intuition, right? I mean,
you can only choose through the self-observation. In that sense, I say, what's going to happen? Okay, if I follow my mind, which is all the programmation from this society, from my ancestors, whatever, I will arrive to the same place. It works like this. It's a perfect system, mechanism that brings always to the same place. When you are tired to go to the same place, maybe you can pay attention to that refined glimpse, which is the intuition.
Yes.
And then say, okay, but something is telling me that today I need to dress in red and, as a new thing, but I really feel this. Well, and then when you are tired of arriving to the same place, then you have the courage of follow a little bit your intuition. And then you can realize how goodness this is bringing to you. And this is a way to training to trust to yourself.
Yes.
Because your intuition, as you say, is your intuition. No one else.
Yeah.
No one else. The mind structure is a mix of the society's mind, familiar mind, and your own mind.
And that's much more difficult and confusing.
Yes, because you are always repeating the same. And the intuition is stimulating you to do something different.
And that generates unique, personal, authentic work.
Of course.
Art.
Of course.
Right. So
Because
this is why we're talking about this, and this is why it's so important. How does one start following this more and becoming more aware of this aspect of themselves and hearing it? Is it just simply, well, that worked out, I'll do it again? I mean, you're saying that to follow this, to follow your intuition, to follow your own path, as opposed to what we've been taught or what we hear, or the stories, the culture.
You really need to be tired of doing always the same.
Ah.
Otherwise, it's much more like easy, comfortable, is what all my family have always been doing, and all my friends. And
it's habitual, and
yes,
it's easier.
So it's easier. So you follow. You need to be fed up with this to decide to do something different.
Yes.
To pay attention to that intuition. Otherwise, you just keep repeating. And it's okay. It's okay.
I'm so curious, what got you, like you say, you've studied with so many people, to be able to work with the energy and see this in other people? Did you feel this as a young child more? How did you know to go down this path, or who influenced you?
Me.
Yes, personally, like, was this something that you obviously have cultivated this, but how did it start, for you?
Okay, I had a not easy beginning in this life. It was quite difficult with many personal issues, from abuses, and, with a mother that she really was not taking care of me.
Yes.
So I put it myself a lot of difficulties, a lot. Really, I need to pass through a very narrow place until and then my father died when I was 20, and then I got depression, and then I got many, fun, intensive fun. So finally, I was in a place, in a very, very little place, that I couldn't even breathe. Wow. I was in that borderline, really, really. So, and then I decided to ask for help.
Yeah. That's a simple idea. It took me about 40 years to figure that out. Because there's people actually who can help you. It turns out.
The question is that they cannot help you unless you ask for it.
Yes.
No one can help you unless you really ask. So I was just so desperate.
Yes.
That I really began to scream ask for help. Because, then I got 2 girls. I got twins. So I was not alone in my mess. I was with 2 little girls. So that was really, that pushes me, okay, because, if I die, it's okay, it's just me, but not these girls, not these innocent girls.
Oh, yes.
So they bring me the strength enough to begin with that screaming, like, okay, help me.
Right. And that began your teaching. Yes. Yeah.
That was the beginning.
The beginning. And this just becomes, you work with so many people. What is the biggest or the most common challenge that you see with so many people that you work with, that you're able to, the thing that they're not seeing, the common thing that so many people don't see, that you're able to point out or illuminate for them, that's helpful?
Yeah, well, I think it's always the same, is that it sounds like so common to tell this, but it is like this, the connection with your soul. Everyone is looking for the same. We are all looking for the same, but in such a different ways. We are incredibly creative. We have infinite possibilities of experiences, and it's wow, never ending. Never ending. In the sense that you find every person is different. Every person is different. Everyone is looking for the same, and we have the same ingredients. It's like, okay, we need to make a cake, and we have these thousands of ingredients, and each of us are combining in a different way to build that unique experience of life. So that's why from my point of view, my experience, the therapeutic work or to guidance work needs to be unique, just adapted to what the person is and that right moment in their life.
Yeah. You're meeting people that are asking, which is probably pivotal for them. It's people come and they're curious and they are open to hearing. So that's probably the kinds of people that you meet. They're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a big important thing.
That's the thing. They are just ready. I found this a lot. It's like just in time.
Yes.
In time for a certain word or touch or quality of vibration or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It's like there's this invitation that we all have to look deeper, go deeper. I think I maybe started making art because that's what was really on the table for me, or that's really what became art making for me and held my interest. I think I was drawing birds when I was a little kid or whatever, but I think there was this aspect of it that it improves when we improve. It improves when we can listen better. And when we listen better, what we make, others can hear it better. And it's just kind of a miracle to me that what we're doing isn't our own little thing in our own studios. It's something that we're making that we're all connected. There's this universality that you're saying we're all the same, but we're all different, but we're all the same. And I just find that really comforting in a way.
It is. Art is gonna save humanity.
Yes, yes. Because it celebrates that idea, right?
Yeah.
It's the acceptance of our differences and our sameness.
I'm working in politics.
Yes.
Now I'm for 8 years, and it has been, even is a small town or whatever, it has been, you have all the ingredients. So it has been really, really hard because you just go deeper in that darkness. And art saved me because suddenly I was just lost, and I was again in that dark room without, the possibility of seeing any light.
Yes.
And it was like from that intuition that, please, Magdalena, take a paper and some pencils, whatever, and find yourself. So I was just sitting on my desk and taking this and drawing as an exercise to find myself. And that saved me. Saved me. Otherwise, I don't know, for sure politics would eaten me. So
Right. And so you're still making art, which I didn't even know, until we started this conversation when you mentioned that. It makes perfect sense.
I still, I use art in that sense.
Yes.
Because I'm still in politics and I need it. Okay, I'm lost again. Where am I?
Magdalena, thank you so much for just sharing your knowledge and your wisdom and your thoughtfulness with us today. It's really, it's been, for me, such a privilege, and you've been so helpful for me. So I just wanted to thank you, but also thank you for sharing today.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Art to Life show. If you enjoyed the podcast, please help me get the word out by sharing it with your friends on Instagram at arttolife_world. The recording of this and all episodes, along with a place to leave comments, see additional photos, and discover a whole new approach to making art, can be found by going to arttolifepodcast.com. And secondly, if you could leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening on today, I would super appreciate it. It makes a big difference. And last but not least, before you go, if you'd like to be on my artist list, every Sunday morning I send out a video blog all about art making. Go to arttolifepodcast.com to sign up. And all these links are in the show notes, of course. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next week.